in, kid.
Hello and welcome to the Very Bad Batch Explosion Network's after show, where we break down and discuss each and every episode of the Disney Plus Star Wars original series, The Bad Batch. My name's Dylan Blight, and join me, Ashton Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, excited to be here and excited to talk about midichlorians. You said the word.
They did say the word.
Mm-hmm.
True, actually, I didn't. Yeah, I got so used to hearing M count that when it was finally said, I was maybe didn't celebrate it as much as I should have. In retrospect,
They haven't said it since episode 1. No, I don't.
This week's episode was called "The Harbinger of
Harbinger
Death, of Truth." Sorry, Harbinger. You know, who's to say?
Who is to say?
It was? Pretty straightforward episode. I mean, the plot is literally mysterious person turns up, mysterious person is Asaj Ventress, mysterious person attempts to test Omega's M count, midichlorian count, mysterious person leaves. No information or helpful details given to the Bad Batch. I mean, that's like, is that not the episode? What do you think of this week's episode?
I thought it was fine. Obviously, you know, it's pushing forward this kind of. Well, I mean, the clones at least, the Bad Batch at least learned that, you know, M count means midichlorians count. You know?
And they're like, yeah, we totally know what that means. Yeah. Midichlorian, heard that all the time.
Yeah, well, they were around a lot of Jedis, right? Maybe.
This clone group? I don't think so.
A couple. They went on a couple missions with some Jedi. I mean, it was fine. I mean, you know, last week I talked about how I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to make Omega like force sensitive or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they're implying that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but then, you know, they also rule out her becoming a Jedi because, you know, obviously that requires a lot of training and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, obviously, as someone who has not watched the Clone Wars, it felt like, oh, this is an episode where they're bringing somebody back from the Clone Wars, and it'll probably be a bigger deal to people who have watched the expanded canon of the universe, you know?
Yeah, so did you Google afterwards, or?
I just did. It's someone in the in the Clone Wars.
So Asaj Ventress,
she grew some hair.
Yeah. Asaj was a Night Sister. I don't know if you could tell by looking at her, but yeah, she's a Night Sister, as a lot of people, a lot more. Even if you haven't watched Clone Wars, obviously you've got that, whatever that character's name is, I can't remember, in the Star Wars Jedi video game.
But her powers are different, right?
Well, yeah, but still, that's where she was born.
Yeah.
So she was. I'm trying to do the quickest way. She was brought. She was a Jedi. Not Jedi. She was a Padawan. She was trained a Padawan. Her Jedi master, whose name I can't remember, but he dies. And then she's basically enslaved wherever the planet was where he dies. This is all like pre-Phantom Menace, right? Timeline-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Count Dooku finds her there, takes her on as his apprentice. Secret apprentice is the important part. This is during the events of Attack of the Clones time period now, obviously. After Phantom Menace into that. So now he's got her secret apprentice. She's a, Sith apprentice, basically. Lots of back and forth. She's a prominent character in the Clone Wars because Obi-Wan and Anakin are bumping into her quite a lot. She's always out in missions Dooku's sending her on, etc., etc. Eventually, Sidious gets word or gets a feeling that Dooku has a secret apprentice, orders him to kill her because, the rule of two situation. So Dooku betrays her, nearly kills her, or leaves her for dead. Somehow she survives. This becomes a prominent theme. She then heads out on her own. She's still bad guy. She teams up, does a few other jobs, turns into a bounty hunter. I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting, but nonetheless, Clone Wars series ends. If a character is still alive when the Clone Wars ends, they release the book. One of the first canon Disney series Star Wars books was called The Dark Disciple, and it was that and one other book Can't remember. But the story for the book was based on uncompleted Clone Wars script that they never got to do and that expanded on. I think Christine Goldie wrote it, or Christy, whatever her name is, Goldie.
Dooku Lost Jedi Lost.
Yeah, that might be the other one. But the one her final book is called The Dark Disciple or Dark Disciple or something like that.
Yeah.
In that book, she teams up with Quinlan Vos, who is a Jedi. They fall in love. They go on this mission to attempt to kill Dooku. And then, basically, long story short, at the end of that book, which is canonically was the last time Asaj Ventress was seen, she sacrifices herself to save Quinlan Vos, like dives in front of Dooku, who's doing like lightning shit or whatever, and she dies. And then it's to the point it's not even like she was left there and she could definitely, maybe she just rolled off she rolled off to the side. No one saw that she was totally fine. No. They carry her body, Obi-Wan, I think, is there as well, or some shit like that. They decide to honor her sacrifice and they take her back to her home planet and like leave her body there on her home planet in like a sort of a what do you call it, like a official way, like in a pool or something like that. I know, some shit like that. So she's dead. Anyway, she's in this week's episode. So
yeah.
I really like that. It's one of these things of two minds where there is that element of Asaj Ventress is a really cool character. I like her, but she got the Dark Disciple book was really good. Like it's still probably, I'm sure if you read it now, it's still hold up. But like that was one of the earlier ones where for a while there, for the first few years of Star Wars Disney canon books, that one still always stood out as like a really, really good one. And her ending in that was like a really well done way for a character to die. And like she as a character who had been through so much, her like finally deciding to do the right thing at the end and sacrifice herself for someone she loves and whatever, like it was sort of a fitting ending. So now it's one of these things of like, okay, she's back. Do I need to know exactly how? I don't know. Maybe I do because she was dead.
It's interesting. So apparently Ventress was going to be revealed to a Sephardic face in Dark Disciple to make an appearance in Star Wars Resistance. So could the episode Relic Raiders, in this appearance she would have dueled supremely to Kylo Ren. Her role was later changed to accommodate the original character Mika Gray instead.
Oh my god. Oh, I mean, yeah, I get it. This is the thing where, and
apparently her databank entry on StarWars.com has been updated, removing the mention of her giving her life to instead more vaguely note she sacrificed herself by taking most of Dooku's Force lightning.
Okay. This is the stuff where I'm like, again, I enjoy seeing her in an episode, but it's dumb. Like, you can't just, like, if someone's dead, like, at a certain point, you can't, like, who stays dead in Star Wars at this point? Because I don't think anyone does anymore.
The Sand People.
Do any name characters stay dead?
Anakin's mum.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair.
Uncle Ben.
What's her name? Yeah, what's that?
Shino?
No.
Chinoy?
Yeah, the S is right, but yeah. Anyway, the point being you can't remember her name, so, does that count?
Okay.
Does anyone in a Dave Filoni executive produced show stay dead?
Well, not many named characters have died yet. In the Clone Wars? I don't know.
No. I mean, the only one who's...
Tech.
All right, but it's time.
That's true. I'm sure there were a bunch of named Jedi who died during the Clone Wars,
Well, there was, but did Dave Filoni, was he the one who chose to
That's beside the point.
kill said character? I'd say the only big note character he hasn't brought back at this point would be Kanan. He's left him to die.
That's true. So,
but there's still time.
Currently, there's still time.
To
Ahsoka to like open some sort of portal, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. will walk out.
Yeah,
in brown face.
And then, everyone, it's basically just Rebels live action. We're back.
Which is what, yeah.
That's what we've been.
The title card come up, and then it gets erased, and Rebels will replace it. Yeah, I mean, interesting. You know, like I said, it definitely felt like this is a prominent character who has some sort of meaning. So yeah, I mean, it's intriguing. I think she's an intriguing enough character for people to look into her, and then potentially going to other stories. You know, look up different stories, read The Dark Disciple. But more likely just read the Wikipedia page and go, oh, okay, that's crazy. I'm sure it was a thrill for Dave Filoni to include her in this and to make sure she's alive so she can appear in the Mandoverse coming next year. She's going to be the big bad that Grogu and Jin need to fight in the movie.
I mean, at this point, the way she presents herself in this yellow lightsaber and all, obviously.
She have a red lightsaber before?
She had a red lightsaber. She's not a good guy. She's not a bad guy. It's just
she's a grey Jedi, right?
No, chaotic neutral, right? Chaotic neutral. I think all that stuff aside, I did enjoy the episode. There is a part of it where it does feel like similar sort of line of story beats we're following that we're just going through with Grogu or have been through with Grogu about like the potential of Mega being force sensitive and then having to do training, but also
I don't know how any of the tests would allow you to measure M count.
Well, I don't know. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
To me it goes, are you force sensitive or you're not force sensitive?
I mean, in the Phantom Menace, we know that Qui-Gon was literally just like, let me just take a blood test and yep, she says over 9,000, baby, you know? But I don't know. And the other thing is, and I guess that's the general gist of the episode was good to watch just from just seeing a Mega interact with a Jedi or someone who's force sensitive or whatever you want to call it. That was really good. And like, really, there are signs, you know, like obviously connection with animals and everything like that. Stuff they hint at in the episode. There's only signs to say that she could be. But yeah, at the end of the episode, after everything, as much as I did enjoy the episode, it is like Asajj leaves and our crew know one more word than they knew at the start of the episode. They're like, is Omega force sensitive? Maybe, maybe not. You know, they really don't know. Can
I throw out a crazy theory?
Why not?
They're all force sensitive. That's why they're the Bad Batch.
That is an insane theory.
That's why they've got their abilities, because they're tapping into the Force. They're able to tap into the Force to do their crazy stuff.
Okay.
You know?
Then why wouldn't they
and the reason Crosshair's losing his ability to do shoot is because he's lost his connection to the Force.
Then why wouldn't they be trying to track down all of them?
Because they don't know. They haven't got all their blood.
Okay.
The only hole in my theory is that surely they tested Crosshair's blood when they were doing the test, but
I would assume so, yes.
But maybe they didn't for some other reason. Because they thought he was tainted.
It's true. Could be. I think my only complaint, like technical complaint for this episode before we wrap up, would be I did find all of the fight inside the cave, the lighting on that, to be dumb.
Wow. Last week you're saying it's cool that it was all so dark, and this week there's a little light in a cave and you're like, I can't see anything.
It's like, well, if you picture it, like if you were filming this in that cave, you know, if it was real locations, real people, I'd be like, you'd want to film with the camera on the other side to where they kept filming it, because the shadow wouldn't be cast on the actor's face. But the way they filmed it is just like they filmed it on the other side of them.
Yeah.
And they're consistently getting shadows over them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I get that.
That was my only. I'm like, this is
no, that's
choice.
fair. Yeah. But I thought the actual choreography of the fight was pretty good.
The choreography and everything, that's all fine. I had no problems. I was just like, why are we like just because there's animation, you've got the sun's still setting in the background, so it's like we'll shoot it from the other side.
Probably because that way was more interesting than you should, because it's got like the actual light source with the sea in the background.
Well,
whereas if you shoot it the other way, it's just the
it just seemed a lot.
It's just
of
the ship. You know,
a lot of it was on the other side where they were just like consistently like covered.
Or someone could have just brought like a lantern.
Jesus Christ. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of The Very Bad Batch. Next week, yes? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't take a break, did they?
No, they're not taking a break. I think even
it's double episode
next week might be a double.
Go back to a double next week? Yeah.
It's a double.
It is?
The final double.
The final double. Yeah, and it's weird. The final double, and then they don't have a double finale. Weird. But odd.
It's because the finale is a 6-episode long.
Yeah. Weird. All right,
it's not really the end.
Fucking hell. All right, we'll be back next week, talk about the double episode, see what's happening there. I assume finally something involving the Empire and a fight or something, because they can't drag this on for too long. It'll just be ridiculous.
Well, they can't stay there anymore, can they?
No, they got told to leave.
Or they will stay there and they'll find them.
Yeah, well, and then they have to run again. That's dumb, so I hope that doesn't happen. All right, see you here next week where we'll talk about it. Until then, may the Ventress be with you, because she can survive death several times over.
She was going to be in the new sequels.
She's a cat. I got a few lives left. Fuck.